Sometimes you try all of that. You re-engage, you move, you shift your thinking, and you still feel stuck. That doesn't mean you're failing, my friend, so don't start thinking that. It might mean that you need some support. It might mean that you need someone to guide you through that process. Healing was never meant to be a solo sport. Hi, my friend. Welcome to the Bounce Back Black Woman podcast. I'm Dell, and I've overcome some of the most devastating heartbreaks I could ever have imagined. Do you find yourself stuck in sadness after a broken heart, asking God, why me? Well, I'm here to help women just like you heal and build the resilience to overcome life's greatest hurts. If you long for joy and confidence again, this podcast is for you. So grab your headphones and those heartbreaks. Let's talk. Hey there, my friend, and welcome back to Bounce Back Black Woman. If you've been listening, you already know that we've been walking through a 4-part series asking this tough but real question. Is happiness for everyone else but me? Now, if you've just found this podcast, or if you've missed the last few episodes, make yourself a note to go back and listen to episodes 76 through 78, and then come back and re-listen to this one. Don't leave now, just go back after, and this one might take on an entirely new context for you. That way you can experience the fullness of the whole conversation and get the most from it. We talked about what it feels like when the color in your life seems to have drained, leaving everything feeling difficult, uninspired, or overwhelming. About being stuck in sadness, about watching everyone else seemingly move forward, and about the subtle patterns that quietly keep us small. And today, we're shifting, not to the end of the conversation, but we're shifting to moving in a forward direction. Because understanding why it is that you feel stuck in that black and white monotone is powerful. It's the powerful step. But learning how to revive the color in your life, that is actually transformative. You don't return to color by simply pretending that nothing hurt. You don't return to color by rushing into, I'm healed, I'm fine, everything's fine. You return to color by choosing, especially in small ways, to participate in your life again. And that might look like a number of ways. Saying yes to coffee with a friend when you really want to cancel and stay under your covers. Updating your resume, even though you've been turned down time and time again, and you're starting to doubt yourself. Trying something new instead of sticking with the old and replaying what that was. Opening your heart just a little instead of sealing it shut. My friend, re-engagement isn't dramatic. It's actually directional. You see, we often think that joy will just return dramatically with a breakthrough or a sign or a moment where everything suddenly feels different. Like you wake up one day and it's all been a dream. But joy rarely storms back into your life. It returns quietly through the little things, the little progressions that change. You didn't cry today. You slept through the entire night and don't remember tossing and turning at all. You didn't stalk their social media. You didn't rehearse the argument over and over today in your head. You caught yourself planning for something that's actually 6 months out. You laughed and you didn't immediately feel guilty or shame. My friend, those are not small things. Those are indications that the color is returning to your life, to your spirit. Not loud ones, but real ones. I remember the first time that I laughed, really laughed, after everything in my life had changed. And what surprised me wasn't the laughter itself. It was the guilt that came after. It felt like having joy and feeling joy was in some way betrayal of what had happened. It felt like smiling meant that I was forgetting. But I want to tell you that healing doesn't dishonor what you lost or what you went through or what happened to you. Feeling joy again doesn't mean that what you lost matters any less today than it did then. It means that you're still alive. And being alive means that there's still a life of color available to you. So just because your life might feel dim right now doesn't mean that the light is gone. It means that it's still deep down inside, but it might need hope in order to shine even brighter. So here are 3 practical ways to begin seeing in color again. The first is to choose what I'm calling micro re-entry. Don't try to overhaul your whole life. Choose just one small action that signals forward movement. Call the friend. Take the walk. Update the profile. Sign up for the class. You see, these little small steps tell your brain, we are alive again. We are living again. The second is to stop waiting to feel ready. Ready is overrated. Ready isn't a real thing. You're ready when you start. You won't be fully healed before you begin. You begin, and then the healing catches up. Waiting for readiness keeps you in that grayscale, the black and white. Movement invites saturation and the color to return again. The next is to allow 2 things to be true at the same time. You can grieve and grow. You can miss what was and build what's next. You can carry memory and still create joy for the future. Color with depth to it is richer than color without any history. What you went through will make your future better and richer and more meaningful. The next is knowing when you can't move alone. Sometimes you try all of that. You re-engage, you move, you shift your thinking, and you still feel stuck. That doesn't mean you're failing, my friend, so don't start thinking that. It might mean that you need some support. It might mean that you need someone to guide you through that process. Healing was never meant to be a solo sport. And scripture supports that. It tells us in Proverbs 11:14, without wise leadership, a nation falls. There is safety in having many advisors. Think about that one. And Proverbs 20:18 says, plans succeed through good counsel. My friend, faith is not isolation. Faith includes seeking wisdom and inviting guidance and letting someone walk with you or shine the light for you as you walk together through the darkness. There is no shame in needing help moving from stuck to steady. So, if you've been waiting to feel fully healed before living again, stop waiting. Just start doing. Take one simple step. One micro step. And if you need structure for that step, I want to remind you about something that I created for this exact season in your life. For all of our lives, to be honest. It's the 2026 Bounce Back Guide. It is not a stiff checklist of things to go down the list and check off. It's written exactly the way that I talk to you here, conversationally, practically, directly. It's a targeted collection of guiding principles for healing and moving forward. I want to read something to you exactly the way that it shows up inside of that guide so that you have a better understanding of what it feels like and how it can help you. So number 11 in that guide, the 26 things, says, say yes to new experiences. New experiences can feel uncomfortable after heartbreak, and they often reopen doors to joy, confidence, and discovery. Saying yes doesn't mean forcing yourself. It means staying open to possibility instead of retreating into fear. Growth happens when you allow yourself to try, explore, and live again. Simple, to the point. You don't have to pull up episodes of the podcast and re-listen to remind yourself. You'll have it at your fingertips in written form. So my friend, I want you to know that downloading that and tucking it away and starting to open yourself up to healing is what re-engagement looks like. Not forcing happiness, but choosing participation. Sometimes you don't just need inspiration. Sometimes you need direction, and you need language for your next move. You need structure when your emotions feel foggy, and there's no shame in that. Download the guide. It's free. It's for you, and it's powerful. I'll link it in the show notes, but you can go directly to bit.ly/2026bounceback. That's bit.ly/2026bounceback and get yours. So I want you to remember as we close this episode, you are not disqualified from joy. You are not permanently seeing grayscale. Color returns to those who choose to re-engage. Not perfectly, not instantly, but intentionally. So take one small intentional step. If you don't have support yet, that's okay. Create motion anyway. Write the truth down. Send the message you need to send. Schedule the call that you need to schedule. Download the guide that your heart is telling you that you need. Say yes to something new, even if it feels scary. Do one thing that your future self will thank you for. Morning doesn't beg the night for permission to arrive. It just rises, and so can you. Well, that's it for today, my friend. I really hope this episode inspired, encouraged, or just plain comforted you. If so, please share it with a friend who might be struggling in her own healing journey. And if you take a moment to leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts, you'll help other women find encouragement through their heartbreak. Remember that God is holding your hand along this journey, and guess what? I'm holding the other. Life is short, so bounce back, Black woman.